Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. We have a lot to talk about today. Our royal family is under attack again. I wasn't actually going to comment on Invictus or Meghan. I just thought, leave the lunatic to it. And then I wake up this morning and I find articles all over the place that apparently our royal family are not supporting Invictus. That would be our royal family that helped Harry set it up. That would be the Royal Foundation with William and Catherine. Didn't they give money? Didn't William get a settlement from the newspapers and make a donation? I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be imagining it all, or maybe I'm being gaslit. Maybe we're all being gaslit again. I'm not saying this has anything to do with Meghan, right? But it would appear that she turns up and the shit stirring begins. It's very much out of the playbook of the Oprah interview. Oh, someone in the royal family questioned what colour Archie's skin would be. I don't think I should name them. That could be very damaging. Now, I emphasise, I'm not saying this has directly come from Meghan. But people who support her, her PR, her fans, people who might not even be involved with her, and perhaps these are even people who actually actively hate her and want to make her even more unpopular than she already is, that are doing this. But sources overnight have said it's poor show that our royal family don't publicly support Invictus, and that Invictus is not getting the support they deserve. Right. Invictus is not getting the support they deserve. Well, firstly, why don't you air your games on something accessible globally that's free so everybody can watch the contestants? I've made that point and made that complaint over the last week or two. And I know some of you have been really helpful and said, Fiona, it's on BBC iPlayer, and we can't watch BBC here. I'd have to get a VPN. And also, I'm not going to download yet another app, BBC or otherwise, to watch a programme. These people who want an audience to watch their programme put it on something mainstream that everybody can access. I can't afford to sign up to Apple TV, Netflix, another subscription to HBO. There are hundreds of them out there. Lots of times there are favourite films. I have still not seen that film, Jojo Rabbit, and I would love to see that. It's on yet another streaming platform. And I'm not going to keep paying just because a streamer has one programme I want to watch and then I'll forget to cancel the subscription. I'm not going to do it. I can't afford to do that. A lot of people can't afford to do that. So Invictus, if you want more public support and donations, make yourselves more accessible. Don't be so elitist as to go with Netflix. Talking of Netflix, you can tell I'm really fired up about this. This is so unjust and so unfair on King Charles, Queen Camilla, and the Prince and Princess of Wales. It's unfair on the Princess Royal, Princess Anne. It is unfair on the entire working royal family. And I'd have to reiterate, I think what everybody needs is clarity. And you'll see my point. They actually argue their own point to lose their own titles. When I tell you, and this apparently started in the Telegraph. So I'll read out a little bit of this article. And yes, I did have to go to the Daily Mail. Now, those of us that go to the Daily Mail, read the Daily Mail, we get criticised. Oh, you're a Daily Mail reader. Well, I'll explain why I go to the Daily Mail. Firstly, they normally make it their business to buy or take the best photographs. But I do go on other websites. I particularly loathe, and this is not the content of the newspapers, this is their websites. Their web design is just appalling. I cannot stand the Mirror. They give me banal paragraphs, which I go through and read to check if there's anything new in there. They start off with things like, you know, Prince Harry born to King Charles and Princess Diana, like we don't know, married Meghan Markle in 2018, like we don't know, they decided to leave the royal family in 2020, like we don't know. And I finally get to the crux of what the headline's about, and I am confronted with a green bar that says, continue reading. I hit that bar, the entire page reloads, the entire site reloads, it goes right back to the top after showing me a multitude of adverts. I don't have time for that. Then I've got to scan back down to the paragraph I was at before to continue reading. So invariably, I leave the Mirror website because it's crap. The Express is the same. They do the same continue reading thing. Hello Magazine, okay, they do the same thing. Now the Daily Mail recently, and I get what the green thing is about. It's to see if you kept the reader's attention, which very much defeats the object, because you lose your readers on the Mirror and the Express and websites like that because of this reloading. Daily Mail, they don't always have the green button. On the occasions they do, I press the green button and it just expands and I continue reading. It's not a problem. And don't anybody tell me to install yet another browser because maybe my phone browser doesn't work with it. It is the business of every web developer to make sure that their site functions with all major browsers. It is not the responsibility of the viewer and the reader to install half a dozen browsers and keep testing out which one works with which different newspaper. God, I do web development at Dolphin Safari and the customers are brilliant. They give me feedback and they soon tell me if they have a problem, and I don't think I've had a single complaint this year. Keep it simple. If you want to know if you've kept your reader's attention, there are other ways of going about it. Now, let's get on to this bit, and I did take screenshots from the Daily Mail. An anonymous UK media strategist, I'll just repeat that, an anonymous UK media strategist said, "It's ironic Buckingham Palace has had more to say about the Highland Games than the Invictus Games, despite the honorary military roles they hold." Well, that paragraph in itself is of the same calibre and ilk as the Oprah interview and shit-stirring exercise. Who is this anonymous UK media strategist? Is this an invented character by the Telegraph and the Daily Mail, just trying to make merry hell and create fake headlines? Does this person really exist? Does this person work at any PR agencies? Does this UK media strategist, do they have any connections to any American PR people? Who the hell came out with that? Now, there is a veteran who's named. I've never heard of him before, but they have quoted him. So I'm reading this out, fair use and fair dealing. If he didn't actually say this, I'm sure he will sue the newspapers. This anonymous source continues. In doing so, the palace ends up looking mean-spirited and petty. This ill will against Harry should not be held against Invictus competitors. What do you make of that? Oh my God, it's the whole royal family's fault now that Invictus have empty seats in their stadium. I saw that yesterday. Meghan had a standing ovation and cheering crowds. Yes, all 9 of them were standing up. I counted them. I also looked at the empty seats in the auditorium in the background. And yes, it is sad and it is tragic that Invictus are not getting the support they deserve for those veterans. But that is not the fault of our royal family. They are us Brits specifically and Commonwealth citizens. They are our royal family that are under attack. But this is filth, pure filth. Now, who is this person who's come along and said this just after Meghan arrives? And then they wonder why Invictus is not popular. Because of Meghan and Harry. Netflix running around everywhere. How can our royal family become embroiled and involved in a money-making machine like Netflix, like Harry and Meghan are? How can they possibly do that? They make the point, oh, they were there on the good, the bad and the rugby the other day. They're talking about sport. They should do more to help and support. Oh my God. This former Royal Marine, now this is a different person to the anonymous UK media strategist. Former Royal Marine Ben McBean said he understood both sides of the rift between the brothers, but added that they should have put their differences aside. Mr. McBean, who lost both an arm and a leg in Afghanistan, inspired Prince Harry to start the Games added that the team should have had a shout out. Now, that's not a very specific quote, so I would give Mr. McBean that he may have been taken out of context on that. I do not know. And then it goes on, this is not Mr. McBean, and a Team UK insider, so again, anonymous, a Team UK insider said the athletes find their lack of support from public figures bizarre, but don't want to get caught up in the royal crossfire. So that Team UK insider is not having a go specifically at our royals. They're saying, you know, basically nobody wants to know. Oh, I wonder why. I wonder why. And palace sources. So again, nobody named, but that's frequently how it is. But I do like this paragraph. There's a little bite back. Palace sources reportedly say that members of the royal family never involved themselves in each other's professional endeavours, and they would not expect the Duke to voice support for the finalists of William's Earthshot Prize, for example. Thank you. There has been a changing of the guard from our late, lovely, kind, Christian and forgiving Majesty. There's a changing of the guard, and I sense a bite back in that. Now, that anonymous UK media strategist that said, it makes the royals look petty and mean, isn't that the argument for not taking their titles all this time? That it would make the palace look petty and mean? Well, the palace, the royals, have been made to look like racists. They are now trying to weaponise the contestants of Invictus against innocent members of the royal family who helped found it, who did attend the first few ones, and went, there you go, Harry, off you go. Now it's all their fault. Well, I say that the public needs clarity from Buckingham Palace. Enough of this looking petty and mean. They are not working royals. They are not connected to the county of Sussex. They're not connected to the United Kingdom. They are living in America. They are doing their own thing. They are earning money off Netflix. Clarity, please. King Charles, take the titles away. Give Harry and Meghan the freedom they desired. There was even a book written once called Finding Freedom. Give them their freedom. Take the titles away. Enough is enough. I'm going to leave it for there. I might do a slightly more moderate video later on today because I feel really heated. Oh, and her nickname. The Nigerian team apparently have given her a nickname, Ngozi Lala Lulu. I don't know. Apparently it means warrior princess, mother of prince and princess, and wife of the son of the king, and the duchess of the moon and the star. It's a really catchy nickname. I didn't write it down, and that's not an exact quote. Anyway, that's quite enough from me. What do you guys think? I think I actually think this is worse than Oprah. Worse than what they did on Oprah. And what a peculiar time to start doing that, when finally King Charles might have agreed to give Harry an audience and be open to negotiation on trying to help him out. What a peculiar time. It's a bit like a little kid gobbing off at their mum and dad on Christmas Eve, isn't it? Just before all the prezzies are put under the tree. As always, thank you very much for listening to my rant. And I must add, do your own research, because I could have got everything completely wrong and misunderstood it, and I could be full of shit. So check for yourselves. I'll put a link to the Daily Mail article below.